A very good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It depends on the time you're watching this video. We truly appreciate your time here with us. I am Sheku, your storyteller. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your precious moment here with us. We also want to thank all those who are asking different questions from our previous episode, especially the one last week and the other one last 2 weeks, which is 84 years ago, and against my father's will, which is last week. We hope that these questions will keep coming, and we are sure going to answer every single questions that you asked us. We also want to thank all those who are sharing our video, and also the views we are getting on YouTube is really encouraging. We truly appreciate your time here with us. So the title of our story today is called A Call by the Moon. A Call by the Moon. That's the title of our story today. So why do we say A Call by the Moon? And from the background, as we are saying, we see somebody with a different color, right? We see a lady, a very beautiful lady with a different color. And this is a very intriguing story. And we will find out more as we read along always. So the logline for our story today is called The Rejected Daughter of Another Skin. The Rejected Daughter of Another Skin. And as always here, we are going to read the synopsis together, and then from there, we ask questions as we go along, and we expect you guys to respond to these questions and also ask your questions. Whatever question you ask, we sure going to answer them. So these are the cast of our story today. For our story today, these are the cast of our story today. So we have Honorable Sanko, Dr. Sanko, we have Adila, Ademu grandmother, Ademu uncle, we have Ademu younger brother, the foreign affairs minister, the media, the government of Tanzania, the government of Uganda, the government of Sierra Leone, Sobia, the Inspector Bangura, and then Honorable Sanko elders. These are the cast for our stories today. As always, we are going to read the synopsis, and then from there at the end, we do in our questions. So we start. Thank you once again. As a retired diplomat for the African Union, he experienced the biggest shock of his life. From his home in Freetown, he watched an interview on BBC and CNN featuring the same girl he had rejected 19 years ago due to her skin color. She was born to a Tanzanian mother during his tenure as an African Union ambassador for East Africa. To his surprise, this rejected daughter of his is now the face of Glitz Magazine Africa. She is the face of African Union tourism and also African leading model with a net worth of $50 million. She has also been voted as Africa's most beautiful lady 3 times in a row by the Miss African Beauty Contest. Is this Adela, the child I rejected and asked her mother to keep if she wanted to? He wondered. Overwhelmed with regret, he walked silently to his room, his face fixed with shame by his reaction, and followed him to his room to find out what had happened. However, he said nothing to them and asked to be left alone. A few days later, his wife tried to convince him to share what had happened and what was going on. She promised to be understanding and not to be hard on him. Trusting her, he decided to confide in her. He hoped that she would understand him, forgive him, and together they would fight to get his daughter back. During his days in Tanzania as an African Union Special Representative for the UN Secretary General, AU Secretary General, he was treated with respect and given all the love and care he needed from this great nation. As a diplomat, he was a young, educated, and powerful diplomat from Sierra Leone who believed the world was his playground. Excuse me. 2 years later in Tanzania, as the AU Special Representative for East Africa, he was summoned to a meeting of high-profile diplomats to discuss the upcoming Tanzania election and the necessary step for a peaceful and successful election. On his way home from the meeting, he encountered a naive young girl named Ademu, who was selling on the streets of Dodoma. It was love at first sight. Ademu, a poor 19-year-old girl living with her grandmother in one of Dodoma's slums, was beautiful and full of life, faith and respect for all. Despite Ademu being a teenager, this do not stop the qualities of a wife. A few months later, he improved their lives by moving them out of the slum. However, he kept this a secret from the media as she was just a teenage girl living with her grandmother. With the love and care shown to her family, Ademu believed in Sanko's love. She believed that he truly loved her, which led her to give her virginity. A few months later, Ademu's grandmother noticed some changes in her and confirmed that Ademu was pregnant. Honorable Sanko was informed and took responsibility for his action. He immediately paid Ademu's bride price to prevent the media from finding out and making headlines. It was well, and Ademu family enjoyed true love and care until Ademu gave birth to an albino girl instead of a black baby boy. Sanko was disappointed and ultimately rejected the child, leaving them at the hospital without paying the bills. This was heartbreaking for the family. They did all they could to make him understand that this was the work of God, who gave the best, not what man wished to have. To their greatest surprise, Honorable Sanko took away everything he has given them and left them with nothing to survive on as a family. The grief, pain, and disappointment it caused led to the death of Ademu's grandmother from high blood pressure. This left Ademu alone to survive with a child and without a home. Life took a painful turn, leaving Ademu to fend for herself, despite numerous attempts to reconnect with the father of her child. He rejected them and sent them away with nothing. To keep the media away from this case, he requested an immediate transfer to Uganda. Ademu, being poor and without any advocate, she was powerless to stop him. In a fit of disappointment and anger, his wife, Mrs. Sanko, a former Minister of Foreign Affairs, left him. She was filled with pain for Ademu and all she had endured because of her husband's actions. The next day, the Sierra Leone police force arrived at Honorable Sanko's compound and arrested him for the death of Ademu's grandmother and the rejection of his own child 19 years ago. Mrs. Yeno Sanko shocked everyone, including her own family. This drew the attentions of the media and the international committee to Honorable Sanko past, which came to the notice of Ademu and her daughter in Tanzania. A few months later, while he was in jail, Ademu and her daughter Adila visited Sierra Leone for the first time ever. They were welcomed by a high-profile delegation from the country at the airport. To everyone's surprise, Adila and her mother forgave him for all the pain he had caused them, including the death of her grandmother. Together, the Sanko family united in peace. Honorable Sanko thanked his wife, Mrs. Sanko, for making him pay for his past mistakes. Mrs. Sanko was celebrated for her bravery as a true African woman of moral value. Do you think Mrs. Sanko did the right thing by calling the police to arrest her husband for the crime that he committed 19 years ago in Tanzania? Or if you were the wife, would you have let things be and help your husband to fight for his child, knowing very well how powerful your husband is, and you being the wife who was a former foreign affairs minister for Sierra Leone, who can easily maneuver her way to get the attention of Tanzanian government in order to win back the. Let's get your comment. Let's get your reaction on the comment box and sure that we are going to answer every question. Thank you for your time here again. We truly appreciate it. This is episode 4 and we say goodbye. See you next week. Love you.